Network of awareness makes your brain coherent. One of the fastest growing podcasts. You can hear it 24/7. Got listeners out in London, informationalists in Paris. Echo spreading out, no parrot. Just dissect, digest, and share it. The righteous rhymes hit the spirit. Click 90 times, it won't perish. Cause y'all's the mind ain't no fairy tale like the belly our parents. It's time to rise, don't get wary. United minds, it's apparent. Download every single errand, but most ain't fit to catch it, even if they were Larry. Interviews, the interludes, they enter you, taking you on a journey like no other. It places you in a state of awareness. It's your fault if you hate the truth, cause Yahweh's on his way, my brother. Better change your views. All praise to Yah.
Ever heard.
Attitude reflect leadership.
Attitude reflect leadership.
Attitude reflect leadership.
Attitude reflect leadership. Attitude reflect leadership. Attitude reflect leadership. Attitude reflect leadership. Attitude reflect leadership.
Peace and greetings, people. Welcome to the Network of Awareness. And this show is brought to you by A1 Career Services, where opportunity begins. If you're looking for people to fill your company's positions and roles, or if somebody looking for an individual job, look up A1 Career Services. That's what this show is brought to you by, a sponsor. And I'm ORRA, the informationalist, owner and founder of the Network of Awareness. And welcome, brothers and sisters, for this live broadcast, episode 38, The CoN in Social Constructs. And we're going to get deep into that as much as possible. But I do want to discuss some current affairs and current topics that have come onto a lot of people's platforms that they follow. And I particularly saw the same one on TikTok and on IG. So we're going to discuss that as well. And I'm talking about the Georgia Guidestones, people. You know what it is, and you know what it isn't. Now, with all that being said, I am going to start the show with a song just to get the blood flowing and also to set the tone for today's show. So, we'll be right back, people.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Please just tell me what's happening to me in plain English without the mumbo jumbo. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah. what you did to me. Made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind. Got no more space in my life. See what you did to me. Made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind. No more space in my life. Picture me with the crib by the beach, beautiful wife by me. With the sun living out our dreams when they all doubted. Said watch me, got to work with a smirk, kept stacking. Brick by brick, I built this shit, stay consistent, committed and never quit, and kept my distance 6 feet from them niggas. Faking and folded, but I just kept going crazy. The ones supposed to be closest be the ones gossiping behind your back, praying for you to fall, casting demons on you. But Yahweh with me, so I stand tall. Only time you see me fall on my knees to pray. I want you to see all the shit that you did to me. I want you to see me taking off now. See what you did to me. Made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind. Got no more space in my life. See what you did to me. Made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind. No more space in my life. See what you did to me. Made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind. Got no more space in my life. See what you did to me. Made me a better me. Had to leave them niggas behind. No more space in my life.
In the mix. 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 In the mix.
And we are back. Welcome. It's a beautiful Wisdom Wednesday today. It's tonight, actually, July 6th. It's 7:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Tampa Bay area. And still getting better, people, almost 100%. So let's talk about some of these current events in regards to the Georgia Guidestones and one of the stones being completely put into rubble through some form of an explosion, allegedly. According to news networks, this happened around 4 a.m. in the morning, and apparently nobody seems to know, and there's an investigation and blah, blah, blah. One thing I'm going to say about this, because I know a lot of people are talking about it, either way, even if this is some form of manipulation through the forms of propaganda, through social media and other networks, whether it is something that is valid, where some crazy people from the United Shenanigans of America decided to get together and take one of their drones and throw a bomb on that place, I don't know. Either way, it's significant as to that righteousness always prevails, regardless. Even if it's being manipulated by these people, it's still a sign that righteousness always prevails, because that's something that I've been thinking about, not personally doing myself, but wanting it to happen for a long time. Literally, it's exactly what happened is something I've been wanting for that to happen for a long time. But I knew it was under surveillance, which it still is. So it's interesting how if it's under surveillance like the way it is, then who really blew it up, right? That's the question. Either way, it's a good thing because, in my opinion, when it comes to those stones, it's based on a lot of wickedness that's playing itself out present day, especially when it comes to maintaining humanity under 500 million. Or I believe it's, 500 million people they want to keep the society at worldwide. Either way, I think it's a good thing, people. What do y'all think? Shout outs to everybody in the chat room. Shout outs to the people coming in, trickling in throughout the show. Shout outs to all the people that are listening outside and those that will be downloading later. Some good things are happening here, people, in my opinion, because there comes a point where in this country, before it falls, there's going to have to be some major turmoil or some type of action to be provoked for where it completely shifts everything. When that time is coming, I don't know, but I know it's near. I know it's not that far away. Even if we're going to calculate this to happen within a certain amount of years, these things are very close. And in the United States, I think we're going to see the righteousness prevail, but we're also going to see a lot of havoc being reigning supreme on nearly everyone. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The other thing I wanted to talk about before I get into the topic of social constructs is this thing with CERN yesterday. Yesterday. I don't know if anybody experienced anything different. I didn't in particular. But at the same time, I think the fact that just making people aware of it is letting them know that there is stuff going on with it at all times. So portals have been opened up for quite some time now on a number of occasions. But the question is, if they're really going to open that main one that's going to bring all this darkness and demons out like in the movies. But we'll see. Either way, this is an exciting time to be alive. And what a great time to be alive. So today's show is going to focus on the con in social constructs because I think social constructs are very important to understand because it's really what molding society, and that molding of society has now been accelerated with the LGBT community, with the whole transhumanism movement, with merging humanity into technology and having some form of automatons, and also spirituality-wise, more of the Luciferian principle and doctrines are being conveyed in a multitude of ways. And a lot of it, believe it or not, especially when it comes to how it's conveyed to children, is made to look very harmless. So social constructs, let's go into I always like to go into definitions and see how it's interpreted. So definition of social construct is an idea that has been created and accepted by the people in the society. Class distinctions are a social construct. Now, what is the meaning of it? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up an example of it. It says that, simply put, social constructs do not have inherent meaning. The only meaning they have is the meaning given to them by people. For example, the idea that pink is for girls and blue is for boys is an example of a social construct related to gender and the color of items. Now, the reason why this is so important, people, because this is something that is heavily focused on. When I was looking up social constructs, a lot of it was evolving around gender. And when I went into images, there's so much imagery when it comes to gender is a social construct or construction. And this is all relating to the battle between the alphabet gang and the rest of the world. But when it comes to social constructs for me and how I perceive it and how I have now dealt with it in my life as an older man, is that I understand it for what it is, but I don't accept it as my reality. And I say that because even the social constructs that have been placed upon people in class systems, even with racial class systems, where when we know when it comes to race, there is no such thing. Everything has evolved from the melanated black man and woman family. Once you understand that, you understand that there is no such thing as race. There is really only one people. There are cultural backgrounds And there are also certain energies that groups of people hold. And I truly believe that we're going to see a great evolution of that with this whole satanic movement, with this righteous wickedness, spiritual warfare battle that we are currently engaged in when it comes to our governments and everything else. But social construct to me is anything that you're going to label based on somebody else's interpretation of something. And usually it's something that they want to control. Because when you look at the transatlantic slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade, there was a lot of social constructs being placed at that time and before that time and well after. And because of these certain terms to identify people by certain classes, through time, if you keep repeating something, especially when you want to control a society that you've now taken over a people, a mass of people, and you want to control their minds, you're going to place social constructs to the point where it becomes generational. It becomes so common sense that it's just taught from generation to generation. And social constructs now are being manipulated as they have always been, but now it's being manipulated with this whole transgender, homosexual, and binary and bisexual and all this other stuff that I probably don't even know of, to be honest with you, because these terms and pronouns and all that goes deep. And nor do I care to dig too deep into it. I know well enough that it's based off of insanity and lunacy and everything else that people can't see. But this thing with social constructs, people, let's dig into it. Now, something that always interests me is the social construct, beginnings. Like, where did this, really come into the fold, into the field of life? So I wanted to look that up too and share some of this information that I've looked up with you people. But what I also would like to know is, how is it that people so easily will accept something as truth without really understanding what they are accepting? And I still don't know the answer to that to this day, because even though there's a lot of sheeple out here that have taken the science appliance and have accepted anything that's been thrown at them with the media, it still baffles me that it's just so willingly. There's something that has happened for a long period of time where people have slowly but surely turned this part of the brain off, a certain part of the brain that does not question anything no more. Because I think the level of critical thinking was far greater, probably in the days of the 40s and 50s, and even in the 60s and 70s. And slowly but surely it started to decrease from there into, you started to see in the dumb downness of America. What I call the dumbing down of America is when you started to see it in the late 70s, early 80s, and then from so on and so forth. So let's look at this history here. Now, I'm going to read a couple of things here that I'm looking up here. It says social constructs are often created with specific institutions and cultures come to prominence in certain historical periods. And that is so true, because what we're seeing with the alphabet gang, and especially when it comes to transgenderism, there is a glorification that many of us have never seen ever in the history of this shitty ass country called the United Shenanigans of America. And now we're seeing it. We're seeing exactly that. We're seeing a specific institution, right? Places like Black Lives Matter, as well as what's that other one, man? I can't remember. It's like GLAAD or something. There's a couple of organizations that are very, very much powerhouses now. And then you have Hollywood that backs it heavy. So forget it. With that institution alone it's a marketing force. But it also says social constructs dependence of historical, political, and economic conditions can lead them to evolve and change. And that is very true. The only one that really hasn't changed is the social constructs that pertain to race. And that's really to protect the lie, and the lie being the white supremacy. But when it comes to social constructs in America, there's too many to count, right? It's like America itself is a big fuckfest of social constructs. So shout outs to all the people that have come into the chat room. Shout outs to Brother Aksakai, Sister Brittany, Sister Danita. Wifey must be busy at work because she said she was going to come in. So it is what it is. Let's go. People, I'm going to take a quick intermission, play us a quick song, then we come back. Like I said, I'm not going to play much music anymore, Monday through Thursday. If you didn't get the memo, basically I'm going to be doing more dialogue and talking and just covering different topics. And today's topic, people, if you have anything you want to introduce in the chat room in regards to social constructs, what they mean to you, maybe examples that you can give, feel free to share in the chat room today. Today is Wednesday, July 6th, 7:22 p.m. here in the Tampa Bay area, people. So let's take a quick intermission and we'll be right back. Peace, brother. I don't have a lot of time, Take. They got the dogs on me. You know, they really trying to get me to take this science appliance, brother. And you know I'm not doing that, man.
Oh, where you at?
Not doing it. I'm in an undisclosed location right now. Up in the nature spot near that cabin I used to go to. But they got the dogs tracking me. They got the satellites. So they eventually gonna get here. I got it barricaded, you know what I'm saying? Because the only way I'm taking that jab is if I'm in a bag, brother. So Take, I just want to tell you this before anything else happens, and I want to get this out to you and let you know. All right, brother, Take, you're at the door. I gotta tell you, just listen, brother, just listen.
Now it's time to get out your own way. Allow Yahweh, today is your day to amaze in many ways. Cause it's just another phase in this infinite space where Yah be giving us grace. I'm working the race with diligent praise, unwavering faith. I'll be damned if I stray from Yah's will and embrace. Man sealed his fate with his ignorant ways. The world is disgraced, vibration has raised at a very fast pace. I'm present today in high frequency waves. No more being enslaved, all praise to Yahweh. A Hebrew warrior from the land of the brave. From the cradle to the grave to my very last day. Send a serpent to his cave, God favored my way. Never fearful or timid, it was written and given. No religion, division can stop a messenger that's fulfilling his mission.
Things only get worse before they get better. But the story ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Hey, I can't stop and won't stop, I gotta keep propelling. Final destination is a room in the heavens. Diligence and militant, His will is my medicine. I can live without a half, but His love is my everything. COVID is on the road, got the world on its toes. So many sheep with their eyes closed.
Hey, sir, would you like to take the jab?
Man, kiss my ass, stop living by what the news told you. You got injustice, brutality saturating the streets. Blood spilling for no reason, thanks to the police. Meanwhile, syringes are being taken with speed. Can't do it, you ain't sticking no vaccination to me. Despite all the chaos, I still manage to stay on the right path. Gotta keep my focus and my faith strong. All day long. Let spiritual music play on. All the honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh.
Things only get worse before they get better. But the storm ain't meant to last forever. Even when the light is dim, the sun finds a way to shine again. Things are getting ugly, things are getting cold, but I know it's best to stay in my zone. And I can't stop now, I can't stop now.
Can't stop, I won't stop. 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 Can't stop, I won't stop.
Yes, season 4, baby. Episode 38. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the Network of Awareness. Shout outs to all the people that are trickling into the chat room. Appreciate y'all joining me on this broadcast. And what a great topic to cover today, because we have to understand it's all about awareness, right? The more we are aware, the better we are prepared, and it's always faith over fear. And social constructs has got a lot of people twisted, and it's really being used as a weapon to destabilize the traditional most high given understanding of reality, especially when it comes to heterosexual men and women. And there is a war going on outside to terrorize that very, very feminine and masculine principle that makes this world or civilization continue to be as it is. Right? Something I always say about, and I say this a lot, is like, when it comes to the alphabet gang and all of their counterparts, they wouldn't exist if it wasn't for heterosexual people. But the social construct behind transhumanism and behind transgenderism is really being pushed as something that is purely ethical and that makes sense, and that they have these bullshit scientists and doctors to support a lot of the behavior that they're pushing down people that they know makes no sense. People, it doesn't make sense for a lot of things, but these social constructs are being pushed down our throats. And as they have, one thing for me, and this is purely my perception, my opinion, based on how I live my life. I can't say this is a fact, but I try to destabilize and completely erase and diminish any social constructs that I have learned since I came out the womb. The more that I can destroy the social constructs that I have perceived to be as truth and fact and reality and not question it, once I get rid of those, the closer I feel like I'm getting closer to the Most High and having a true bond, because I'm slowly but surely becoming unworldly and completely attaching as much as possible from worldly things that is always has a influence of some form of Luciferian principle within it. And the majority of stuff like that is that's going on today has a Luciferian agenda in it, somehow, some way. It's almost in everything. And these social constructs of race, gender, economic classes, they are all big time bullshit illusions of social constructs that many of us to this day believe are true. And I wanted to shed light on this because I feel like I have to detach myself from social constructs so I can have a better experience while I'm still here. And also serve the Most High better too, without having all of this distraction within my life spiritually. So, something else I wanted to look up for social constructs. What is it based on? So this is another question. In short, the social construction of reality argues that humans create and sustain all social phenomenon through their social practices. People externalized their thoughts on the world, such as writing down and creating a story about an idea they have. And you see, when it comes to these social constructs, this idea that just because you feel a certain way, you are a certain way, as well as if you put a synthetic prosthetic of any sort or any type of extension that is of synthetic nature, that's biologically being infused into your body, but still synthetic, still artificial, it doesn't make it real. But yet we live in a society that has now legalized it, has made sense to the world through bullshit, bullshit philosophies that have turned into dissertations and then have turned into medical facts within their DSM-5, right? Like they've changed it. And then they put these social constructs to support it. I never forget, and I've said this before, some of you may remember this story. I think it was in season 2 that I may have talked about this, where when I was dating back in the days, I was dating a woman that was a school teacher. She was a middle school teacher. And she was telling me that, she couldn't call she had to call this one student Day. I think it was Day, something like that. Day or her, one of those words. But if she didn't do it, she could lose her job. And I remember that back, that was years ago. And it was like that years ago. So just imagine how it is now. It's insane. But social constructs, people, like it says, I'll repeat it. It says, argues that humans create and sustain all social phenomena through their social practices. Now, something else I looked up here, and it has an actual answer for this question. It says, who invented social constructionism? The theory of social constructionism was introduced in 1966 book, The Social Construction of Reality, by sociologists Peter L. Berger and Thomas Luckman. Berger and Luckman's idea were inspired by a number of thinkers, and check this out, including Karl Marx, Emil Durkheim, and George Herbert Mead. Now, something else I looked up here is what is social constructionist theory? And it is a theory of knowledge that holds the characteristics typically thought to be immutable and solely biological, such as gender, race, class, ability, and sexuality, are products of human definition and interpretation shaped by cultural and historical contexts. And so much of that is true to a certain degree. But when there's nothing undeniable about the feminine and masculine principle, but through social constructs, they can distort its true understanding that the Most High gave us to understand. And man has really tried to distort that through social constructs. Social constructs, people, is something that's very powerful that it's part of the engineering process of society. And it's one that I talk about a lot because I feel like the more I talk about it, the more people can gravitate to the understanding that when they are living their life, that any social construct that they've adapted to based on not their own choice, but based on some type of learned behavior through some form of upbringing and repetitive experiences in their life, I want to help people to understand that we have to break free from that, because the more we do that, the better we understand the light that's within, the one that is connected to the Most High, the one that speaks to us, and the one that we connect to through our pineal gland. And that's why it's so important to keep it healthy and to keep it intact, because we don't want to lose that connection like many have and will through the science appliance and other forms of poison that they put on us. The social construct for me that really kind of like I battle with, and I understand that I can't adapt to any of it, is when it comes to race. I have to understand that there's social constructs they're tied into race, that the whole entire foundation, I have to remind myself, doesn't even exist. It's made up. It's make-believe. So brothers and sisters, like I mentioned before, if there's anything you want to mention in regards to social constructs, feel free to do so. But continuing on this subject, I'm noticing that there's a lot of people that are adapting to social constructs to the point where they have no shame in putting importance on it and acting like it's real. And at the end of the day, social constructs are going to only be a nuisance for us brothers and sisters as long as the United States of America exists. I believe that once the United States of America falls, social constructs are not going to have the same type of influence that they've had for quite some time. I think the United States is one of the biggest perpetrators to social constructs, not only within itself domestically, but also foreign in its influence on the rest of the world. Their social constructs are fucking up the world. And one in particular, and I have to keep calling it for what it is the alphabet gang. You know what I mean? The alphabet gang is, they're fucking everywhere now, right? And I was saying, I was saying this shit like 10, 15 years ago. I was like, damn, they're fucking everywhere. And now it's 10, 15 years later, and it's like they are everywhere now. It's not like surprise no more, but it is a little overwhelming, to be honest with you, because we know that for the children and the agenda that it serves, it's wicked to the core. The more we can lead by example, not that I want people to think that we're meant to change the world, but I think that our lives as examples change the world. And I think that it's a beautiful thing that I've been seeing in the past couple of years, where a lot of people have been breaking the social construct of holiday and the celebration behind it and all the significance that people have been putting on it. A lot of people have strayed away from that. And that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, where we can change the world through example, through our behavior, our consistent, committed behaviors, right? Because if you were somebody that once celebrated, let's just say Christmas or Thanksgiving, to break free from that social construct and way of being through that construction of what you should be doing because everybody else is doing it, to break free from that is not an easy thing to do. But once you free yourself from it, you are truly filled with the freedom of getting to know the Most High. And there ain't nothing better than that. Nothing. Social constructs, people. It's really important we understand this, because life is not a social construct. It's a pure, energetic, energy-filled experience of wonder. And it can't be pigeonholed or identified as a specific thing, because when you think about what the Most High represents, and we are the essence, we are the expression of the essence of all that is and ever will be. How can you put a social construct on that? You can't. Yet they try. They try every day. They try every day to get you closer or lead you astray from, what the Most High wants for you. That's why I'm like, fuck this world, man. And fuck the social constructs that are placed upon me by society and by anybody who may believe in the illusion and wants to convince me that it's real when I know it's not. That's where I'm at right now. And I want to keep knocking down the learned behavior to social constructs in any way, shape, or form. One of the ones that I was just talking about, that I'm very grateful to see many of us brothers and sisters within this truth, and the people that I've come across through my walks of life. A lot of people have disengaged from the whole entire traditional practices and certain events that people would be engaged in with holidays. They've completely disengaged. It's a beautiful thing to see. And that is changing things. It's changing the zeitgeist. It's changing the frequencies. It's changing the way people perceive life. And when you start getting more and more people like that, it starts to create an energetic field that pulsates and transcends. It's just a fact. I'm starting to see more of it. It's happening in small increments, but those small increments are adding up. People are breaking free from social constructs, people. And it's important that we, as seekers of truth and that want to serve the Most High in whatever magnitude that we want or feel compelled and spiritually filled with purpose to do so, it's important that we break free from the social constructs, because a lot of times we may be serving a purpose, but we're not serving it to our fullest potential because of social constructs that are still resonating within our spirit that we have yet to overcome and evolve from. And if you're somebody listening to this broadcast and you feel like you're like that, there's still time. Time is of the essence. Time doesn't even really exist. That's a social construct in itself. It's always about the now. That's why you always have to be present. And if you're somebody that suffers from not being able to let go of certain social constructs that you know you should let go, just be firm in understanding that it's something that you have to fill with some type of truth. And this is something that I practice in my life, where if there's some lie that I once held as true, that I now come to find out the truth behind that lie, that it is a lie, and I find out the truth, I supplement it and filling it with that truth that once filled that lie. I just replace it with something that's true. And it's no different than, I use the example of the holiday. When you knew Thanksgiving was a paganistic holiday and you stop practicing it, you fill it with something else more meaningful, whatever it may be, or you treat that day as any other day that you give praise to the Most High. So let's take a quick intermission. We're going to play another song and we'll be right back. Let's play some Seventh Seal Cypher.
Here we are back again, about to drop some facts again. Yahweh's word spreads like a vicious net for capturing those with an ear to listen, those who paid attention, those who stand bold like a soldier with their convictions, not quick to fold or throw in the towel when under pressure. They walk it like they talk it, they live the message, but depression's what most folks are facing. They got the vaccination, we in zombie land, pretty soon we gon' have to dance. Better keep that sword in your body, fam, cause this far from game, Babylon will bring down and blame. Some debts are better off real slow, so you can witness the pain. You tortured slaves, 400 plus years of pain, hung brothers up in the trees, swinging for days and days. Now this is your end of days, you looking so disarrayed. Try to cover your ears, but the truth still gon' penetrate. The hatred is strong, but races still want to imitate and integrate. Only Yahweh's chosen holy nation can ever be this great.
Yahweh's amazing. Before I eat, I'm saying my graces. I pray for knowledge and wisdom and peace. We dwell in greatness. 144,000 frequencies and vibrations. So don't give me amped. Go take a hike and camp like concentrations. Pull up my pants and send my genes to elevate genetics. I'm concentrating, no recess to dominate recessives. No car insurance, the way I swerve, they be like impressive. Stephanie Courtney know my flow is looking more progressive. My aura is a network full of awareness and gifts like ORRA, the informational list. Shout out my brother, take one. All these chances in life, don't hesitate and wait to take one. We are the true Jews, about to take off. Hitler knows we don't play soft. I pull up and let like 8 off. Watch a demon head splatter, give me back my platter that y'all just ate off.
Yo, remember what we talked about building something special as 1/3? Well, I feel like we're finally here. A righteous Wall Street, bro. Yes, sir, let's get it.
All praise to the Most High, this is only the beginning. Righteously preparing, raising our awareness. No social engineering, just faithful forbearing. Salute to those faith in it, kings and queens creating it. That's people awakening, 2/3 be forsaking him, 1/3 keeps on praising him, putting all my faith in him. Most people be faking it, munching on some bacon bits. Ignorance remains in bliss. In this life I came to win, righteousness I'm living in. Truth is the enlightenment, Yahweh's the embodiment of peace and redefinement. Elohim is in the science, go grown out for lions. Raising the horizons, frequency just heightens. Spirit always brightens, no fear can ever frighten. A man on a mission, living out his visions. Truth to the tradition, gaining all the wisdom. To be freed from the prison, transition with God's mercy. With the early worthy, realist, righteous visionaries.
Too many people live their life in sin. You gotta change your life before the very end. The signs of the times and we know it's coming. But I walk in this light of to and fro, you'll be running. See, I choose to serve Yahweh Elohim instead of pursue a life of finer things. So break free from vanity, iniquity, depravity, to free yourself from death and all
my truth. I overcame my struggles, I'm the living proof. The truth's a weapon, just put it to good use. You can hang a lie by the neck, something like a noose. Y'all favor me, the real one, cause I'm a visionary. Committed to the truth, exposed to lies like a visionary. Tell them that the world that we live in is fucking crazy, so don't be moving shady, y'all's protecting his people.
The world is trying to back me up against the wall like a cat. Guess what? I'm clawing out of that. Big facts, guarantee no pussies over here. When it all goes down, I'm negating all fear. You hear? Lend me your ear like a homeless man asking for $1. The irony in that 2/3 are going to holler, cause it's not gonna work shit. You dead, put your body in the ditch if your ass cannot handle it. The elites is playing with us, call it Squid Games. You decide if you want your brains falling on your lap and let the rats eat it. Just to be safe, no honor in that. I'd rather be with killers that spit facts. You would never see me selling my ass for some cash. Hollywood is gonna burn down and crash. I'ma be excited about this. No tear dropping when it really ends. It's on to hit like Goku fist. The demons cannot block this.
Ain't it funny how we went from whips and chains? Now the only thing we sing about is our whips and platinum chains. Instead of seeking the Most High, they'd rather seek the fame. So what's changed? They tried voting, they tried marching, and a damn thing changed. We still got burned and hung from a tree. Now you want to be a Mason of the 33rd degree. Yahweh never died on a cross, he died on a tree. So what's changed? I tell you what's changed. Now we know the truth. Hebrews are the chosen people, and Judah is the proof. Shalom, Barakatah, and salute.
Of awareness.
I don't know who you are, I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you. Make me a nightmare for people like you.
Know you listening to the one and only Oxakai. Yeah, Marquise, ORRA. We about to hit him with something they ain't heard before. Let's go. Let me talk my shit. The truth is the truth, no matter how you accept it. I'm a Hebrew king that Babylon has rejected. Morals and soul intact, never neglected. Fuck these rap industry niggas. Yeah, I said it. I'm stuck when I'm stuck with, cause I don't suck dick. I don't sell brick. It is what it is. The Most High blessed me with this gift just to spit and lyrically call you fake rappers on your shit. Blow for blow, let them know I'm ready to go. The difference between me and them, I still have my soul. Why sell it for a season when you promise tenfold? But niggas will be niggas, ain't that right, Momo? The truth is the truth, no matter how you accept it. There isn't like blood that's coded in my genetics. Bar for bar, so you can feel my kinetics. I know my purpose and my mission. Intercepted, intercepted.
Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission. Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission.
In the age of low wages and raging races, haters are mad faces that haven't been awakened. Chasing oasis to be rich and famous. Abrasive vibrations can be real contagious. We all vagrants in a wasted matrix. So basic sensations have reached their apex. Time to give the hopeless a conscious facelift. In stages and phases of inspiration. So don't say shit, it's just confirmation. I'm giving directions to misguided strangers. So do yourself a favor, stop spilling blood on the paper. One with the creator, we don't waver from no danger. This purpose with no caution, no hope in slow motion. A lot of painful emotions got me feeling explosive. But I maintain from implosion and stay away from commotion. Just stick to the slogan, to be God's chosen.
Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission. Babylon has did everything to try to keep it from me. They don't wanna see me grow with the truth. Don't want me. The truth is the truth. I know my purpose now. Now I'm on a mission.
Life is an unpredictable and amazing journey. Our ever-changing conditions within today's society and the constant new trends influencing cultures can become overwhelming, to say the least. But no worries. The Network of Awareness podcast radio show brings peace of mind in these challenging times. Follow us on your favorite podcast listening app and join our community of Network of Awareness at networkofawareness.com. All right. So today's episode is episode 38 of season 4, The Con in Social Constructs. And it is a con, people. It's a con because it is making you believe something, some type of story, like a con does, that's not real. But you accept it as reality, and then you get fooled, and you get taken advantage of. As many of us have been getting taken advantage of psychologically since birth. And it really starts if you want to look at it from the core of it, and how the engineering and how people's minds are altered, it starts from your parents or those that bring you up. It might be your grandparents, might be your aunt, your uncle, your big sister, your big brother, whoever it is. Whatever level of understanding they have about life and how they perceive that all of that indoctrinated belief system and of social constructs that they've adopted as truth in their life will now become yours. And that's where culture comes from, right? A lot of culture is identified through social constructs. But even though everything in life is based on illusion, everything is an illusion from our perception, because when it comes to the reality of things and the universe, everything is just energy formed, and spirituality is all that is real. Everything else is an illusion. But the fucked up part about humanity and the diabolical forces that are constantly controlling us is that they've created the worst types of social constructs for us to believe in and to embrace. What if we were to create social constructs that are beneficial to people in more ways than one? Then the world would be a different place. Just off of one social construct that brings everything together would completely transform the world to becoming a more suitable place to live than what it is right now. Something I came across here, I want to make sure I don't forget to read it here, because we're still covering social constructs. Social constructionism, right? So it says, what are the 3 stages in the social construction? So Berger and Luckman in 1966 argued that social construction works in 3 stages. First, externalization. This one is huge because when you think about it, and I've talked about it many times, people, right, where I say the light is within you. It's not outside. You're not going to find any light at some end of the tunnel in any aspect of your life, because the light is always within you. And the problem is that, especially here in American society, we are always looking for that light at the end of the tunnel. We're always looking to fill some type of void in our life, or to be fulfilled in our life by something external, only to attain whatever it is that is external. For some of us, not all of us get to attain that which we covet. But for those of us that do, we feel even more emptier than we did before we pursued it, once we've attained it. Because we start to realize that what we're truly seeking is already within us. It's not something that's outside of us. So I just wanted to mention that. The second thing on the list of their little argument is objectification. I thought this one was interesting as well. What do y'all think, people, so far? Is it on point? Objectification. I think there's a lot of objectification that goes on, especially in the United Shenanigans of America. That is self-explanatory, but when you look at society, there is a lot of objectification, right? Especially in American society. And American society has made other societies and cultures become more objectifying. Excuse me, people, I had to drink some of this smoothie, but matter of fact, look at the music industry. It's one of the big supporters of objectification, right? That's undeniable. And then last but not least is internalization, which I found even more interesting, because internalizing is a lot of the what I consider, in my opinion, to be the emotional instability between young men and women these days in this Generation Z, or whatever the fuck they call it. It's a lot of emotional instability. Everybody wants to be depressed. It's like, yo, you want to be depressed? Yeah, come on. It sounds cool. Let's get high off of being depressed. And this is how it is nowadays. And this internalization shit is really fucking bananas these days. In my opinion. Can't say that's a fact because some people may disagree with me. It is what it is. By the way, people, I know yesterday was kind of fucked up, right? But as you can see, shit is popping today. No problems. I did fucking several sound checks with the audio interface, so everything is sounding good. So thanks again for everybody who stuck it out, because that was some real funny, weird shit that happened. But I'm glad we worked through it. But going back to the topic at hand, I don't want to go off in a different tangent here. For those of you that are listening, let me know what y'all think about this externalization, objectification, and internalization. Because when you start to look at society and like even social media, right? People think about these three different words and think about social media. I mean, this is a good identifier of what happens every day on social media. There's a lot of this shit going on. So, what are the two foundations of social construction? It says that three principles underpin social constructionism. Number one, our beliefs about reality are created through social interactions. Number two, social institutions and persons are created through social interactions. Number three, our beliefs about reality, which are constructed through social interaction. Now it says, what is social constructive? I can't even say this. I'm getting tongue tied. It says, what is social constructivism? Constructivism. Constructivism. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm just gonna stick with constructionism. But there's vism in there too that I can't fucking seem to get it together. So it says, what social constructionism focuses on the artifacts that are created through the social interactions of a group. Social constructivism, there we go, focuses on an individual's learning that takes place because of his or her interactions in a group. A very simple example is an object like a cup. This one's interesting. I just came across this, brothers and sisters. I'm going to read it. It says, is virginity a social construct? Sexuality is shaped by a social processes at the cultural and individual levels. Thus, virginity is socially constructed. I would argue that, brothers and sisters. I think there is no such thing as a social construct when it comes to virginities, because it's like either you have sex for the first time and then you don't, So if you've never had sex, there is some virginity there, in my opinion, but I would disagree with that one. Now, this is another question that is presented. It says, is everything a social construct? Now, some might ask, what even is a social construct, which we know what it is now? My answer would be everything, but to be more specific, according to now check this out, Webster Dictionary, it is the idea that has been created and accepted by the people in the society. So, for example, it could be everything from how we as Western society view, and it says something like gender and something else, but I'm not going to go into the article. This thing with social constructionism is something that I just wanted to put focus on with you, brothers and sisters, to let you know that it's very important that we break free from them, because it's the social constructionism that has really prohibited us, hindered us, stopped us, blocked us from progressing in our lives to serve the Most High at a greater level and with a greater level of understanding and wisdom. Because the Most High is not a social construct. The Most High is that which is and always will be. And that which is and always will be doesn't need to be constructed because it already is. So let's take another intermission, and then I'm going to wrap this show up, brothers and sisters. This is episode 38, The Con in Social Constructs. Let's go. From around the world. Stay righteously prepared and aware.
A new age. An age of freedom. And all who know that 300 Spartans get the last breath to defend.
In the mix. In the mix.
built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
My crown I can't lose, Yahweh I choose. Allergic to the wicked, it makes me go at you. Remember when I was hurting, broken without you? I was searching for something higher than the words of pools. Behold, you led me to Yasha al-Karal, liberated from believing the name of Jesus and God. Here I am, years later, still pushing hard. You never left my side, homies, wherever you are, holding on. But dear life, the old me's long gone, but residuals of the individual prolongs. But I'm still here, demons I'm fencing, holding up my defenses on guard. I'll be a goner if it weren't for you, oh Elohim, King of Kings, Alpha Omega, first and last, creator of everything. Forever your name reigns supreme.
That's all it takes to know that you will guide my path. Open doors, make a way, because you and the love you have for me is clearly shown. It's not the praises of man, it's the works of your hand. I know that I'm not alone.
Shalom, walking in life under the dome. So much chaos in the world going on. If you ever had doubt that made you feel alone, remember that the Most High watching from the throne. Since my younger days, I was trying to buck up, took the wrong path, and I remember when I fucked up, running with police and the thought of being cuffed up, trying to give me 5 years like tough luck. Calls from jail, no one picking up the phone. Pops funny answer, yo, you on your own. Feelings betray me like damn, I'm alone. The past was laid out that the Most High shown. Finally, I was going home. Universal rap, high frequency tone. 1/3 of the light could pick a bone. Waiting for the day for Yah to bring us home.
That's all it takes to know that you will guide my path. Open doors, make a way, because you and the love you have for me is clearly shown. It's not the praises of man, it's the works of your hand. I know that I'm not alone.
Give a round of shout outs and props where props is due. Thanks to all the people that support the network of awareness from around the world. Shout outs to Canada, Bangladesh, India, Netherlands, United Kingdom, Germany, Brazil, Greece, Spain, Japan, Mexico, South Africa, Poland, Barbados, Italy, Liberia, Lithuania, Russia, Portugal, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, Ethiopia, Kuwait, the Philippines, Ireland. Let's go! Shout outs to all my brothers and sisters throughout the United States of America. Shout outs to Florida, Louisiana, Georgia, California, Texas, Illinois, New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Colorado, Arizona, Mississippi, Nevada, Arkansas, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Missouri, Ohio, Connecticut, Kentucky, Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Maryland, Tennessee, Rhode Island, Indiana, Minnesota, Massachusetts, Michigan, Oregon. Oh shit! Salute to all the brothers and sisters from around the world. Let's go. All praise to the Most High for the shine.
Who's the master?
How can you be out in the sun so long? Do you wanna take a ride to a Stargate Enterprise? Now I know you energized. Take my hand and lead me to your room. Tonight there's gonna be a full moon. You don't have to take off them drawers. Just sit down, crisscross applesauce. Now look me in my eyes. Now I know you're fly. Now I know you're fly. Ooh, baby, now I know. Together we can go. All we have to do is glow. Blast through this atmosphere. Better not have no fear. No demons can come near. Feel this heat, no hesitation. What a lovely levitation. What a lovely levitation. What a lovely levitation. Zoom. Main, hold on.
How you doing? I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just cause you don't like the way another nigga talk.
In the mix. In the mix. In the mix. In the mix. In the mix.
You are now tuned in to the Network of Awareness.
Wisdom Wednesdays, let's go.
All right. So, brothers and sisters, a couple of things I want to talk about real quick before I go. And the first thing is this thing with the Georgia Guidestones. However you want to look at it, I'd look at it as a positive. It's just a sign of the times that righteousness always prevails. And for me, I embrace it as a marker to letting me know that the Most High is in control of everything. And no matter how much Satan's disciples and all of the people that support the wickedness put in this effort to basically, want to bring destruction to earth and continue to bring forth this one world order beast system and just live with pure anarchy and chaos and suffering and all these things that they're pushing for us little by little. This to me is a marker to let me know that the Most High is in control of everything and righteousness always prevails, no matter what. So remain righteous is what I'm getting at. And it's through your intentions and through your acts. And the best way I can explain it is when somebody says, well, what do you mean that you're righteous? It just means you're doing the right things because it's the right thing to do. And it's not so much the right thing for you or for anybody, but it's right for the Most High, because the Most High intends for us to live out his righteous word the best way we can. The other thing I want to talk about is real briefly is if you're somebody listening to the show, don't allow people to get the best of you, and don't allow people's criticisms, which a lot of times have no validity behind it. They have nothing to really support it to make it constructive. It's just a lot of bullshit rhetoric. But, I came across some stuff over the weekend that I was listening to, and I was just like, wow. And it reminds me of like what Yazan was saying about even when you're doing something right, they always got something to say. Or no, he said, even they even got something to say when I'm doing right. And it's so true. And it's like people always going to have something to say about you, people. Don't let it get the best of you. A lot of times the shit they say about you it don't even make sense. And people always want to critique. And it's like, when I was growing up, there'd be those dudes that had a little something going for them, the older dudes, and then they want to, constantly give you advice that you never fucking asked for. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, like, my man, let me live my life. Let me do what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And giving advice that was unwarranted. You know what I mean? And then, of course, you had those real brothers that was giving that meaningful advice. But y'all know what I mean. And what I'm basically saying is don't let other people's perceptions of you get the best of you. Don't put too much emphasis on what other people think. I know it's easier said than done because a lot of times it's the people that we respect and care about that always got some bullshit fucking shit to say out the side of their mouth. And it makes you question certain things, and it makes you get a little bit, frustrated, stressed, whatever it may be, but makes you get emotional is what I'm saying. So don't let that emotion get to you, because people are always going to say some bullshit. As long as you're doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, don't worry about what the fuck people have to say about what you do, especially when it comes to anything that you're doing constructive and positive that's serving the Most High. All right, people? So I hope that this episode on the con in social constructs gave you some great substance on understanding that the society and the culture that we live in is constantly being upgraded through some new form of a social construct. And we have to be aware of these things. And we have to let go of the social constructs that keep us in mental and spiritual prison from progressing and being more connected to that which is and always will be, Yah Elohim. So, brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you for joining me on tonight's broadcast. I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to come into my own and starting to finally get back into good health again, like where I feel like I'm supposed to. Because I'm telling you, man, it's been a battle. It's been a battle. Whatever hit me like said, we're going to fuck you up. And the recovery process is taking a little bit longer than what I expected, but it's all good. So, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining me on episode 38 of season 4. Tomorrow we'll be back with Testament Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, like I always say, brothers and sisters, when you live in the present, there's always an opportunity for a new beginning. And don't look for the light at the end of the tunnel, because the light is and always will be within you. So light up the tunnel and find your way through the darkness. This is ORRA the Informationalist saying peace, love, and light, and barakatah. And may the force of the Most High be within you all day, every day.